2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Well, good afternoon. How the devil are we all? Welcome along. A bit of a lunchtime, well, I say treat, maybe not, maybe not the same as sticky toffee pudding or jam roly-poly. If you're down here in Dorset with one of our famous residents, likes a bit of jam roly-poly. Hi to Matt and hi to Paul, who are both in. This was something I was actually going to do last night. And then, of course, Leicester came up and released their details about Tom, in contention for being the new manager after his success on Football Manager 26. So they've obviously, taken that into account, but unfortunately, he didn't quite make it, but apparently he did make it onto the shortlist. Tom, I think you could do a better job.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised they'd be willing to pay the money out for me to do every game like they had to do with Will Still in some of his clubs, right? But no, I haven't got enough qualifications, mate, to do this sort of thing, have I? But be a good one today to see if we can predict these games now heading into the end of the season and see how it's looking. Definitely.
And like I say, I was thinking about what can we talk about over the forum, and I thought, well, this would be a good idea, And then I kind of realised we've got a lot of Tuesdays, a lot of games coming up, midweek games and everything. And then I thought, then let's, like I say, release the statement about everything that's going on. And if you want to catch up with what we thought of that, wasn't quite the nuclear war that America and Iran are doing at the moment, but we did see a calmed down Steve. Let me put it that way. You had a haircut, sir?
No, I haven't. No, I've just decided to try and take my hat off today because my hair is getting a bit out of hand, but it's sort of doing whatever it wants, Chris.
That's what I'm missing. And I'm just totally jealous because at least you've got hair that will do what it wants. I just haven't got any hair. That's the problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the my TV just broke, gone black. All good news. Well, these things happen usually at the worst of times. Well, actually, if you weren't watching it, you wouldn't know it's happened.
You can reduce your TV license fee and put it as a black and white TV now. Save yourself some money.
Yeah, that is true. Look, those are the teams that I suggested we looked at. We know Sheffield United are already down.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Even them as well. Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday, who were relegated by Sheffield United. That's what I was trying to say. And if you're going to get relegated, getting relegated by your biggest rivals hurts, doesn't it? So we know it's any two, and I think it's any two from 6 still, potentially.
Yeah, definitely, Chris.
A lot of people are saying, well, it's also Oxford or West Brom, but, Blackburn, they've just lost the latest. Portsmouth have got a game in hand, but my postman's a Portsmouth fan, and he doesn't hold out much hope either. And Charlton, the proverbial bride's knickers, because they had a really good start, fell away, had a bit of a better run, and they're back in it now. But look, this is the table, and I have to say, it's scary.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, if you look back to the last couple of years, the points that got you relegated as the highest total last year, Luton had 49 points that got relegated, Chris, and the year before, Birmingham, when we won the championship, Birmingham got relegated with 51 points. So you could just see when we're sat there on 34 of 11 games to go, how bad this potentially could be for Leicester and, of course, West Brom, Oxford, and all those clubs. And that's why you're right to say include Charlton in this as well, because above that, there is now a gap forming, which you can see those clubs getting over 51 points in the next couple of weeks.
Yes. Do you remember the start of the season?
Oh, yeah, I try not to, but I do kind of remember it, yeah.
Yes. I know a lot of fans, a lot of Leicester fans were there, oh, for God's sake, we're going to walk this like we did last time. This is going to be a piece of piss. And then I can remember saying, like, well, I'd just be grateful for finishing outside the playoffs. And I could even see a Luton 2 coming along. Well,
yeah, I said that.
I don't want to say I told you so, but we told you so, didn't we?
Yeah, it's a little bit scary. Yeah, because I said in the first one as well, I said, look, I'll give the benefit of the doubt for the players we got. We should be able to maybe make the top 6 but I said there is every much a chance of us being a Luton Town just from where the club is and just seeing the history of the championship and how if you get in that negative cycle and can't break out of it, you can find yourself in a battle you necessarily haven't got the tools to get out of, which might apply especially for West Brom and Leicester in this.
Interestingly, if let's say, for example, we were to win, and I don't think we will, but if we were to win our appeal, that would still only give us 40 points. We'd still be below Charlton Athletic.
Yeah, we would. We'd still probably need to get 4 wins on top of that. And the thing you've got to think about this year as well is last year there was 2 clubs that finished on 100 points at the top of the league, which created quite a gap at the top of the league in points distribution. This year it's tighter. So you could even see that points total you need being higher just because of how the points are being spread amongst the league, right?
And we did mention this before we came live. If it gets worse, if they say, well, all right, actually we were trying to be kind to you, but seeing as you've appealed it, we'll give you 7 or 8 points, and that's another 1 or 2 points on that.
Well, yeah, if that happens, I think we are really looking at a real dangerous situation. I mean, we've planned out the next 6 weeks of games, guys, which we're going to go through for all these teams. But yeah, any further points deduction on top would probably spell the end of Leicester City in the Championship, irrelevant of results, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. Look, like I said, I did mention it earlier, and do go and check out. It's under the debate heading. Last night's show. I have to say, and I've got to take. Did you watch the Traitors at all?
I've seen bits of it. Yeah, I understand the concept. Yeah,
one of the guys used to call the woman that won it, the one of the 2 that won it, the woman, Grandma, because he was quite young and she'd got kids, and that's going to be Kate's name now. In this channel, Grandma. She's had a few. And don't mention parsnips. Whatever you do, I don't know what happened there, but when something just ticks over in your brain and you're thinking, and I just couldn't, I just literally, I was almost at the point of crying.
Bagels and parsnips in that show. It was almost like the Sunday brunch, as Craig said in the group chat afterwards.
Yeah, it was. But look, she made the point like we have all been screaming for change.
Yeah.
It has taken a little bit longer than
Way
we would
too
have
long.
hoped. But as Rob Tanner said, we are slightly different to all the other clubs because of what business our owners are in. And we have to accept that. It'd be interesting to see now with the oil, with Iran and America and Israel, if the oil-rich owners suddenly, but then again, they're in the middle of a, no shopping window, as they say.
It depends where they're located, Chris. If they're based in that part of the world, there might be a problem. Otherwise, they might actually earn more money consequently.
Yeah, well, this is the other point. So everybody's affected by different things. But as Rob Tanner said to me a while ago, King Power as a company are only just starting to come out of it, if you like. Yeah. So, and if King Power, he said, this is where it's confusing because the walk the protest walk, hi Clibbo, by the way, the protest walk was against King Power, but technically King Power don't own the club. So it's all a bit weird, really, all a bit weird. But it's happening. It's happening. At least, we might not be happy with everything, but let's not moan when we've now finally, because looking at some of the appointments and what he's doing, I think he's been very, very clever at top. But do you think this will make much difference at this stage to our season?
Well, maybe not this season. No, I mean we've got to hope long term it does make a change. I mean, it is. I mean, from the outside, we can only see from the snippets we see, right? But it does seem very much there's been a disconnect in how the club is managed behind the scenes. Maybe different departments not communicating well with one another. And I mean, Rarick kind of hinted at it with the medical staff. How he's have to bribe the medical staff to get certain players back in the team, and you kind of think you should really be on the same page as that. They shouldn't be two separate entities, really. So these new changes, they got to be able to bring that connectivity, which has no doubt been part of the reason we have got into quite a sticky situation here. But it has all happened, Chris, way too late, understandably, because we're looking at a position now. We'll go through the results in these games, but really, like, the battle could have been lost off the pitch rather than what we do on the pitch now, which is quite frustrating.
It is. Talking about changes, let's have a look. I mean, first of all, we've changed. Already changed our manager. I would have liked Rowett to have had the 4 games that King had. That would have possibly made the difference. But he has got more games than Dean Smith had.
Yes, true. That is very true. And the only good thing for us is West Brom are in a similar situation right now where their Kingy and James Morrison's in charge, isn't he? And they've got to appoint a manager yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting because it depends who they appoint as to how they will go. So that's the big question mark when we've been doing this. But, West Brom could take another couple of weeks, hopefully, to try and sort things out. We've just got to learn to take advantage. Blackburn Rovers changed their manager, Michael O'Neill, coming in, Northern Ireland manager. Surprised when he took it because he's got obviously 2 jobs he's doing now, and he's got a World Cup qualifier coming up as well. And yeah, he's done it before, I think, at another club. Not sure which one it was.
I think it was Stoke.
Was it Stoke? Right.
I think it was, yeah.
So he's got history on this. Started off well with a couple of wins for them, which has put them in a good position. And then you've got sort of Portsmouth. They have got a game in hand on everybody else, but like I said, my postman's a Portsmouth fan, and as he always says, unlike Portsmouth, he delivers. Bum bum. But they have got that game in hand, but they've got to win that game. And of course, Norwich changed their manager. We all laughed at Clement, because of his time at Rangers. Who's laughing now? I think at 45, they're pretty safe, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and you think the injuries they got as well, Chris, they pretty much were playing a B team against us, and they still look head and shoulders better, didn't they? They've only got one fit striker at the moment, Norwich.
Yeah. Well, yesterday, and I haven't updated it today because, quite honestly with you, I just couldn't be asked. So yesterday, these were the odds that are going down. Bet 365 at 11:45 yesterday. So don't, quote these because these are out of date now, probably. I don't know. And as we always say with gambling, it isn't the answer to any money problems at all. And if you do gamble when the fun stops, that's the time to stop. Look, I would say Sheffield Wednesday are down. Oxford next favourites 3-1 on to go down. Sorry, Tom, I know you got a bit of a special place for them.
Much rather them than Leicester.
Well, yes. Then West Brom, and it's pretty close. West Brom 6-5, Leicester 6-4.
Yeah, well, both clubs are in a similar position, aren't they? Because it's funny when you look at these clubs we've got listed, Chris. I kind of look at it like we kind of know now what to expect from Portsmouth when they play, from Blackburn when they play, for Charlton and also Oxford. We kind of know what we're going to see with these teams when they play their games. With West Brom and Leicester, there's still a bit more variableness to that, or a variety that we can see, because you could argue Rowett's still building this team and trying to get something out of them. And of course, like you say, West Brom need to bring in a manager. Looks like it might be Darren Moore coming into the end of the season, perhaps linking up with James Morrison. So that would be a bit of a bold one, wouldn't it?
It would. It would. And then Blackburn Rovers 9-4, Portsmouth 5-1, Charlton 9-1. So Bet 365, I think, are basically saying 2 of 3 there. Well, then Blackburn not that far away, in fairness, but they do seem to be. Right, let's get into the game. So what we're going to do is we're going to go week by week with the games that just those six are playing. And I always find it very, very interesting that there's quite a few games where those teams that are around us, are playing each other.
Yeah, from the fixtures wise, you're right, because there's a few weeks where there's only 4 games we're going to be looking at because there's 2 of them playing each other, and it's
Yes,
better
yeah.
fixtures for other teams than others, definitely.
Which kind of works in our favour, I think, a little bit, doesn't it?
Well, it can do depending on what we do, Chris, because we haven't
Well,
got
of
the
course.
easiest fixtures. I mean, like, I think I've been quite fair with my predictions, and I've been quite analytical rather than heart focused on it. But yeah, get it in the chat as we go along as well, guys. We keep up, Chris? You know.
Yes, yeah. And then after each week, Tom will tell you what's happened with the table, but we'll have a table of how it would look. And we're going up to Easter Monday and including Easter Monday games, which I think is 6 games. And
Yep.
then we'll do the second part probably next week when there'll be the last 5 games. Anyway, so here we go. This was the first of our 6 weeks that we were looking at. So as you can see, I've got whoever does these graphics, you know, he's a star. He
Deserves a
needs,
pay rise.
I was about to say he needs a pay rise. So Preston are hosting Oxford. First of those games that we're talking about as Blackburn host Portsmouth. Charlton possibly a difficult one against Birmingham. I think we've got the hardest one there away to Ipswich. But let's not forget we've already beaten them this season. And Albion are away at Sheffield United. So how did you see these games going, Tom?
Well, I think the 2 on the far right there, I mean, you can pretty much bank 2 home wins, can't you? I think Ipswich are in a position now where they've got a nice win last night against Hull, and then they're looking to push on. I think they're only 3 points off second now, Chris. So bear in mind how we mugged them earlier in the season at the King Power. I do think, unfortunately for us, that will probably be a 3-0 win to Ipswich.
Still got a game in hand, Ipswich.
They do, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the one against Portsmouth, though, isn't it?
Yes, I think it is. I'm just looking down here. Yeah, Portsmouth is the other team on 34. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, interesting, because I agree with Ben there. I think you're pretty close there. Yeah, so I think we'll see a Sheffield United win over West Brom by probably about 3-1. That seems to be the average for Sheffield United. West Brom might get the goal there. I'm not sure we'll score against Ipswich. I'm going to go for 3-0 Ipswich, just logic over heart here. Yeah, logic over heart. I think we were very fortunate against them earlier in the season. For the other games, right, the more interesting ones. I mean, Charlton at home to Birmingham. Birmingham, they're looking to up still, aren't they? Charlton seem to struggle against teams like Birmingham, so I think Birmingham will probably get 3 points there, a 2-0 win. And Charlton seem to be drying up for goals a little bit now at the worst time. I quite like that 9-1 of them going down, actually. I think that's, could be quite favourable for some people. Right, and then the 2 big ones. And Preston, Oxford. Right, Preston obviously really struggling now a bit, aren't they? They're sort of dropping off, aren't they, Chris? Oxford are a team that seems to me, especially at home, they've got the opportunity to either draw or win a game at home. Away from home, it's a bit more difficult. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt for a draw in this one. I think they might nick a 1-1 draw against Preston because they seem organised, and I think they're very similar to how Rowett got them playing, ironically. The big one of the lot, Blackburn versus Portsmouth. I mean, Blackburn at home in this one as well, but Portsmouth generally do quite well away. They beat Millwall away, didn't they? Which is a bit of a surprise as well. So I think there'll be goals in this, but I'm going to lean there's going to be a winner, and I'm going to lean that Blackburn will win that by 3-2 in a bit of a thriller.
Wow. Not the result I was hoping for there. Just remind me, sorry, I was just looking at the form table. Just remind me of the Preston Oxford result that you've gone for.
I've gone for Preston 1, Oxford United 1.
You've gone for a draw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Preston are 18th in the form table at the moment. This is based on the last 6, and which was the fair way of doing it because we're looking at 6 weeks here. They've only got 1 win in that. Oxford are in 21st in the form table, and they've only got 1 win. Sheffield Wednesday, by the way, are bottom of the form table. Who knew that? A quick quiz question for you here. Who do you think is 23rd in the form table?
I'm pretty sure that'll be Leicester City, wouldn't it?
It certainly is, yeah. And West Brom are 22nd. So where would that leave the first sort of table then?
Well, it wouldn't change too much at the bottom, would it? Oxford would gain a point back on us, Chris, so they'd be 1 point behind us on 33 points to our 34, as we'll be in the bottom two. West Brom would obviously stick pat with 35 points. We'd, stick like 1 point behind them. So for us, nothing would change. But then it would create a gap above where Portsmouth would go 4 points, would be 4 points ahead of West Brom in 20th. But with the win for Blackburn, that would put them up on 41 points and ahead of Charlton on goal difference and drag Charlton a bit more further down.
Right. Sorry, I've just pulled my phone out then.
No
right.
worries.
So we're going to go to the second of our weeks here that we're looking at. Now, a home game for us against Bristol, Portsmouth at home to Swansea. Charlton, I would think, have got a difficult match away to Middlesbrough. Another game where two of them are playing each other, Oxford and Blackburn. And then West Brom are playing Southampton, who are the form team at the moment. Haven't lost in 6, and they've got 5 wins and 1 draw.
Yeah, interesting. Just a quick one from Mad Jason there. I'm pretty sure there are some of them starting at the end of the month. Yeah, so it's not exactly getting underway straight away, Mad Jason there, just to answer your question, bud. Yeah, so for this one, this is a week I have a lot of changes coming, mate. Every position is going to change for me for how I predicted this. I think we're actually finally going to get a clean sheet, and I'll tell you why. I think we're going to beat Bristol City by 2-0. Bristol City have currently got a big problem. They've got all 3 of their major centre-backs out injured until the middle of April.
Wow.
So that's why I've also this week gone for Coventry to smash them in the predictions league, because they're currently playing a midfielder at like centre back. So they've got some big problems there, Bristol City.
Bristol City are down in 15th, 1-2, drawn 1, lost 3, and a -5 goal difference on their last 6 games.
Yeah, I mean, they lost Mehmeti in the January transfer window to Ipswich, who was their real goal-scoring talisman as well, wasn't it? So they've lost that, and then having these problems with Rob Dickey and Atkinson being out injured, who are 2 of their big centre-backs. I think their form is going to continue to drift a bit. So I'll give us the benefit of that. We'll even keep a clean sheet in that one. And like I say, I'm being quite polite here, because you think about our form as well. I've got us to win a few games in these 6 games, but we haven't won 3 games in 6 or whatever it is, So, yeah, so I'll go for the 2-0 there. What do you think on Leicester, Bristol City?
I want to know where you think the 2 goals are coming from.
Probably set pieces. But they've got a poor defence. They've got a poor defence out.
But you don't think, Captain AU will be flying in like Superman with, in his thing. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Jordan AU flying down the wing.
I almost choked then when you brought that up. No, I don't. I imagine we will see. I think hopefully. I mean, I'm still hoping we're going to see that progression, under Rowett. I mean, like, it is worrying because my heart is looking at a lot of these fixtures, and I'm going for my head over my heart of what hopefully should happen. But But when we get to the end, it will show you why we need to win this game. This to me is a huge game.
Which is why, to be honest with you, I'm glad you are doing this. Talking of strikers, unfortunately, James and Fatawu have both come. Well, James has been out injured. Fatawu's kind of dried up. And interestingly, though, this was on Leicestershire Live earlier. Who's my favourite striker at the club, Tom?
Oh, is it Daka?
No, don't be silly. Jake Evans.
Oh, Jake Evans. Sorry, I thought you were being sarcastic with favourite, mate. Sorry, I misread you.
Right. Okay. Sorry. No. Jake Evans, who, of course, is out on loan. The headline today on Leicestershire Live, how Leicester City prospect Jake Evans earned Wayne Rooney comparison from Kevin Nolan.
Oh, wow. Interesting. That is quite a big one.
Yeah, it is. Like I say, if it was me, he'd be here playing for us, not out on loan. But
not dissimilar to what Chesterfield have been saying about Braybrook, saying they think he's championship level and he's head and shoulders above, that league.
Yes, yeah. Well, he might be back in that league next season. So, look, I can't predict what Leicester do. I have no idea, to be honest with you. And yeah, look, don't take these as in, because we have got an international break coming up in March. So don't take these that this is next week, this is the week after, this is the week after. It's just the way the weeks run in order. But there is a gap in there for the week anyway. Portsmouth hosting Swansea. Now, the Portsmouth, like I said, Portsmouth Pat my postman. I don't know what he's called.
Horse
He
Pat,
says,
them in hell.
"Oh, we got Postman Pat, so who has a Portsmouth Pat?" He says we play very well, but we just can't win games, and that's quite right. Well, they've won two and lost four in the last six. Scored seven, conceded seven. Swansea are in ninth. They've won three of their last six, only losing two, and been on a +2 goal difference. So, are Portsmouth going to get anything from Swansea?
I think they will. I think they will. I think Fratton Park, when the fans get behind them, is a big advantage for them as well. And Swansea don't travel well, Chris. Swansea's record of games you've seen where they're winning is mostly at home. When they go on the road, they seem not to pick up hardly anything, Swansea. So I'm going to give Portsmouth the benefit of the doubt here because I think they have got goals in their game as well. I'm going to go for Portsmouth 3, Swansea 2.
Oh, you
Swansea have got the top
scoring games in here, haven't you?
Well, Swansea have got the top goal scorer with Ipnick, haven't they? So they're going to score probably.
Yeah. Welcome to Jim, all the way from the US of A. He obviously hasn't yet been called up for the war effort there. And apparently we don't have Churchill anymore. Hey, Jim, look, Jim, you know I was going to say something, didn't you? Nice for you to join us, Jim. Hope you and Bev and everybody are all well. And commiserations to your school football team that didn't quite make it over the line. But right, Middlesbrough hosting Charlton. For me, I can only see one winner here, and I won't go through the form for every team every week, just on this week, and then because I'll just be repeating myself. But Middlesbrough are where are they? Well, they're in eighth in the form table. Three wins, two draws, one loss. Scored 8, conceded 6, but they're still up there. You know, they're in second. They've got Ipswich breathing down their throat, so they'll want to win these games. Charlton in 19th, only won one, like I said, the last 5, drawn 3, and lost 2, -2 goal difference. Surely, and don't call me Shirley. If anybody knows that film, love that film. Surely, it's another parsnips moment. This is only going to be one outcome of this game.
Yeah, I mean, Charlton and Oxford fall into the same category. You can kind of predict the games they're going to get something from, and Middlesbrough away certainly isn't going to be one of them, is it? So I'm going to go for a 2-0 Middlesbrough win here, Chris. I think it's going to be, like you say, unfortunately, going back quickly to last week, it's a real bad time for us to play Ipswich, isn't it?
Yes. Then again, they might try too hard.
Oh, I don't know. Well, you could argue last time they were very, very passive against us, which is probably what cost them. I don't think we're going to see that next time if they've learned from their mistakes.
No, and let's be honest with you, Fatawu aren't going to get a wonder goal like that again, is he?
No, exactly. No. Hopefully they play more like a Premier League team. That'll probably suit us, actually.
Yeah. Now, again, another game where two of the relegation rivals are playing each other. Oxford, 21st in the form table. They did beat, bloody hell, they beat West Brom 2-1, as we know, last week. I don't know why I went bloody hell. I mean, it could. I would have liked to draw, but it has kept West Brom in that battle with us. Apart from that, they've drawn 2 and lost 3 on -5 difference. Blackburn have gone all the way up to 12th in the form table. They've won 3. They've won 3, lost 3. Simple as that. Scored 7, conceded 8. I guess I don't know. I mean, I would say probably I'd prefer a Blackburn win, but then that's kind of creating a gap, isn't it? Maybe for this one it is a draw that we need.
Yeah, I think a draw is probably what we need. I mean, I've gone for a bold prediction with this one because I just think Oxford at home against teams in and around them, there's one or two things that happens. They win or draw. They don't lose them. That's been a trend throughout all this season, Chris. I mean, that win against West Brom, like you say, was a bit of a surprise for them because on paper, you'd still argue West Brom are a better team. But it's Oxford's drilling. It's how they're organised. And so this will be a close one, but I'm going to nudge it in the favour of Oxford to win this one, actually. And I think they're going to win it by 2-1.
Okay. Talking of West Brom, as we were, they come up next. They are home, but they're 22nd in the form table. Haven't won in 6, but they have got 3 draws. Against, in fairness, and so they've conceded 13 goals as well and only scored 7. But they are up against the number one form team at the moment. And it's
Yep.
amazing to think that Southampton are number one in the form table. But, Southampton are, up to 7th from where they were. It just shows what appointing the right manager can do and what appointing the wrong manager can do opposite. But Southampton not lost in 6. That includes a couple of games against us, obviously. Yeah, I've just realised that. And the drawn one, which, funnily enough, was Charlton. But again, I can't see any. Well, they've scored 16 and conceded 5. So they've got a plus 11 goal difference and 16 points from the last 6 games, 3 more than anybody else. Surely, and every time I say surely, you've got to say, don't call me Shirley. That's how it works,
Yeah.
We're going to be the Ted Lasso. If I said this yesterday, I got the pissed. I can't say it. Lasso.
Yeah, Ted Lasso, yeah.
Lasso. It is Lasso, is it? And you're going to be the assistant manager because he's got a big beard as well, hasn't he? Yeah. So this is going to be one of our sayings now. No, we're not joining the dog gang or whatever it is. I can't remember what it's called.
Diamond Dogs, the Diamond Dogs.
Diamond Dogs, that was it, yeah. Just finished the first series again. But surely this is just going to be an away win, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the biggest question mark is when do West Brom appoint this new manager, and whoever is it going to be? Because when that happens, you might think there's going to be a little bit of a boost. But once again, it's similar to us with Ipswich this weekend, isn't it? Southampton at that point will probably go, we're going to keep the momentum going. They got goals in their game as well, Southampton. They got a tough 2 fixtures to start this one, West Brom. I'm going for another West Brom defeat. West Brom 0, Southampton 3.
The thing with West Brom's board, and somebody said earlier, I can't remember who it was, said there's a lot going on at West Brom. It's in total disarray. Well, welcome to our world, Baggies.
Very similar.
Yeah. So I wonder, are there fans thinking we could appoint another loser here?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think they're going to do what we've done, Chris, and go for a short-term option just to hedge their bets a little bit here, West Brom. But that might not be enough in the same way it might not be for us either.
No. But I'm thinking that they could make another bad appointment and it could cost them. So maybe they're going to take the time to make that appointment and that would cost them as well. I think from all the managers that are out there, to be honest with you, I think we got the best one in Gary Rowett.
Yeah, it's funny as well, isn't it? Because like I look at West Brom and go, is it similar to Oxford? Should they really have got rid of Ryan Mason? I mean, because would they have probably been 18th by now and they would have picked up a few more draws along the way and pulled themselves out of this? I mean, they fired him because they were underachieving from a playoff ambition, weren't they? And it's kind of backfired on them big time. So yeah, I'd agree with that. I think it's a very interesting one.
Yeah, I mean it's Sheffield United the same, Well, West Brom are always up there fighting for the playoffs, aren't they? They never obviously succeeded in winning them and coming up. But how does this affect the way that the teams are looking?
In what way? Sorry, Chris, I don't understand the question.
As in the table. Sorry.
I was in the table, sorry. Yeah. Well, it'll be a big change with my predictions for this one. It would drop West Brom to bottom of the pile, just ahead of Sheffield Wednesday, because obviously I've given Oxford the 3 points here in this one. Oxford would move then to just 1 point behind us in 22nd place, and we'd come out of the bottom 2 because obviously we get the win over Bristol City. So it'll be a big week for that. Portsmouth would jump up to 18th, Blackburn dropping to 19th, and Charlton dropping to 20th. But the points disparity, we'd still be 4 points off Charlton in 20th, in 21st place. So we'd still have a bit of a gap there building above us, Oxford and West Brom, making it a 3-horse race with 2 positions.
Right. The following set of games, again, we've got 2 playing each other. You got Oxford hosting Charlton. We're hosting QPR, and that sends shivers down my spine. Millwall versus Blackburn. Albion Hull. They just had a good win, haven't they, as well? And Portsmouth hosting Derby. Look, two teams here. You've got a soft spot for Oxford. I've got a soft spot for Charlton. It's at home. I'm guessing you've gone for a win here for Oxford.
I have, yeah, but I must be honest. I could see it being equally a draw, but I've already written down and done all the points to an Oxford win, so I'll go for Oxford to cause a surprise. Go back-to-back home wins here against these sort of teams. They either win or draw, don't they? But then maybe I'm being a bit harsh to Charlton, but they seem to be doing a bit of the Preston thing, but they're drying up for the goals in particular in their game now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So 2-1.
2-1 to Oxford. Fair point. Okay, so then obviously Leicester against QPR. We haven't got the old Stifuentis derby hanging over us, but by now, hopefully, Rowett is making some changes for the team because look, the first two games he got two creditable draws. To be honest with you, I don't think we would have won those two under Cifuentes. And as bad as it was, and it was awful against Norwich, and this is the difference between when I do the post-match reaction and then I come and do the review show Monday night. Like Steve last night, I've calmed down a bit and I'm seeing different things. And I don't know who it was that mentioned it. It might have been on the post-match reaction. I don't know, but how can you not go for that team when that team had done so well against Middlesbrough? And I'd been saying that this was probably the best whole 90 minutes I've seen us play all season. So then I can't really complain when he puts the same players out and we're just absolutely bloody awful.
Yeah, that was my feeling. Exactly the same.
Yes, yeah, and you're hoping therefore he's looking at it and going, "What the fuck, guys? Come on, I put my faith in you," and you just you were rubbish. I still blame him for bringing Ayew on, though. I just don't see the logic in that at all. But anyway, that's beside by the by. Can we get anything from QPR?
I mean, they're a bit of a bogey team for us historically in the Championship, aren't they? Even 2 years we've done really well. We seem to have conceded 4 against them at home and stuff like this. We lost 4-1 there, didn't we? Was it 4-1 we lost at Loftus Road? They played really well, didn't they? Yeah. They're a bit of an enigma, QPR, because one week they'll turn up and get smashed 7-1 by Coventry, and the next week they'll go and beat someone 3-1. I think they're a bogey team for us, Chris. I see us losing this game, unfortunately. I think it will be by 1-3.
Can I just say, I'm just going to highlight this point because I don't get compliments off Jim very often. So I am just going to highlight Jim saying good reasoning, Chris. So thank you, Jim. I'm going to clip that and I'm going to keep that in my little personal file. Millwall, Blackburn. Look, Millwall, what a season they're having. Second in the form table as it is. But also fourth in the real table. I wouldn't mind seeing Millwall go up, to be honest with you.
I bet the police in London would hate it.
Yes, they would. To me, they don't remind me of but I'd put them in the same sort of bracket as the Crazy Gang. But that's the whole club. The Crazy Gang was more the players than the fans. Probably with Millwall, it's more the fans, what have you. But you can imagine these sort of play, this team going to Manchester City or Liverpool and going, who the fuck do you think you are? Look, after they beat us, they got into the playoffs. Then they kind of fell away a little bit, but they've gone on another good run. They're sat in fourth. I think they are a certainty for the playoffs and an outside bet for me for winning the playoffs.
Yep.
And they're playing Blackburn Rovers.
They are, yeah. I think this should be a home win for them. The difficulty with predicting Blackburn is they play like quite a defensive formation with 3 centre backs, and then they got a block of 4, the 3-4-1-2 they normally play, which I quite like. So it's not a lot of teams play it in this league, and if you execute it well, you can stifle teams like Millwall. So I'll give Millwall the benefit of the doubt. The quality will see through in this, and it'll be 1-0 to Millwall, but it could be a closer one than we expect.
Yeah. I did think Hull had just won, but they haven't. It must have been they beat Ipswich, didn't they? Maybe that was a couple of weeks ago. I'm thinking
they lost to Ipswich last night, I believe, and then they won the game before. But they're only winning or losing by 1-0, pretty much.
Right, and they've won 2 and lost 3 of the last 5. But I think they should have too much for West Brom.
I disagree. I think we're going to see the managerial appointment after those 2 bad results I predicted for West Brom, and I think they'll have a little bit of a manager boost here, but I think it will be a draw. I think West Brom will have one of those games they'll score one, and Hull will score one away, but they seem to be drying up a bit for goals. I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
For a minute, I was going to have a go at you. I thought you were going to go for a West Brom win, but no,
It's coming, but not yet.
A draw, I can see what where you're coming from. If they've got the new manager in, and obviously depending who that is, maybe they'll appoint Ruud van Nistelrooy or even Marty Cifuentes. Who knows? That would hurt if he kept them up. Portsmouth Derby in 8th, just outside the playoffs. Well, they are this season. Obviously, playoffs might be down to 20th next season. I don't think this is a difficult one to call. I don't wish you luck with this one at all. I think this is the difficult one of the set here.
I think it's going to be a Derby win. Derby actually have got a better away form than people give them credit for. Actually, their away forms in the top 6 in the Championship. The majority of their points have come from games where you go, they probably might get a draw here, but then they go and win. So no, I'm going to give Portsmouth 1, Derby 3 as a prediction in this one. And let's not forget, Derby are still looking upwards, aren't they? Like Birmingham and Southampton towards maybe getting in the playoffs. They were 80-1 to make the playoffs at one point, Derby, when they were 12th. I was like, I wish I put money on it then, because I saw it then and thought that's good odds.
Yes, and of course they will still be crying into their stakes because Wolves have just beaten their 11-point Premier League record as well, haven't they? So they're not going to lose that yet either.
Imagine if Wolves win their next 3 games, which are all potentially winnable.
Yeah. Could be. I don't know who I want to go down. I want Burnley to go down because if we can stay up, then it'd be nice to play Burnley for me. I really do want West Ham to go down.
Yeah, West Ham to go down seems about right, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I'm not bothered if Wolves go down or not, despite me hating them because of whatever that manager, Mark McGee, of him, what he said and when. But I'd like to see Nottingham Forest, obviously.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be funny to see Tottenham Hotspur go down?
Yeah, I mean, for the entertainment factor, I'd like to see Wolves win 3 of their next 4 or 4 of their next 4, which is possible if you look at their fixtures, actually. They're the easiest ones they probably could be having coming up. And then we'll see Forest, West Ham and Tottenham go down. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah, especially if Tottenham go on and win the Champions League.
Yeah, will it be the last time since Millwall when they got to the FA Cup final in the Championship? They didn't let them into Europe, but they should have qualified for Europe from Division 2, shouldn't they?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Tim Cahill was playing for Millwall. Yeah.
Wow, that's going back. So, how's the table looking now then?
Okay, so we're after week 3 here. So what this would do is, with West Brom getting a point, they would stick in 23rd with 36 points. With us losing to QPR, we'd fall behind Oxford, Chris. So this would be the first time Oxford have clawed their way out of the bottom 3. But I have given them, obviously, 7 points from the last 3 games. So, yeah, so we're talking top end of what they could achieve. We'd be 2 points behind Oxford in 22nd, and they would be, like I said, on 39 points in 21st. But above that, obviously, with other teams still being a bit stagnant with our predicting, like Blackburn and Charlton, that would then mean Charlton and Blackburn are tied in 19th and 20th on 41 points, and Portsmouth will only be 1 point ahead on 42 in 18th.
Ooh, getting tight. Armchair says Millwall promoted, Spurs go down result. I mean, I've got to say, if Spurs go down, that will be a bigger story than us.
Oh, yeah, totally. Do you notice how the Leeds manager got sent off, though, for no reason the other day? And I'm thinking, are they starting to try to give out red cards to teams for no reasons above Tottenham again? This has happened before. It's really odd to me. It doesn't make sense.
I didn't see the game, so I can't comment. Right, the following week, which is this week, we've actually got 6 games. Blackburn hosting Middlesbrough. Bristol West Brom, which I think might not be the result I want. Charlton Norwich, QPR Portsmouth, Southampton hosting Oxford. Have they not just played each other?
It was a while ago now, but the fixtures have been weird this year.
Yes, they have. And Watford hosting the Toothless Foxes.
Mm.
So Blackburn, Middlesbrough. Look, on current form, I think it's a Middlesbrough win, but I don't know with Blackburn. I think Blackburn, with the way they've been going and what's happened since O'Neill's come in, is I just think it'll be win, lose, win, lose. The odd draw
Yeah.
throw.
I think you're very right. I mean, I'm going to lean on the fact here that I think the quality of Middlesbrough. I mean, when you look at them when they're on it, they can score a shed load of goals quickly, like Coventry can. So I'll edge it to Middlesbrough. They're going to win this by 2-0 and hold Blackburn to a scoreless game as well. But like you say, there is an argument, and I'm possibly being a bit harsh on Blackburn. They probably might potentially pick up another 3 points, and I've gifted them so far.
And what score did you go for there? Sorry,
I'm sorry, Blackburn 0, Middlesbrough 2.
2-0. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could do with a Bristol City win, but their defenders won't be back. I think it was you were saying by this time.
No.
West Brom, again, we just don't know what their manager situation is going to be. But which way do you see this falling?
I think, unfortunately, you've got a 1 point to go. West Brom are going to win a game in a minute as well. So I'm going to be controversial here. A bit of a surprise. I'm going to go for Bristol City 2, West Brom 3.
You like your 5-goal thrillers, don't you?
I think at this stage of the season, when it's really on there and you've got to show a bit, I think there's goals in this. I mean, similar for Leicester, we haven't got ability to really, keep clean sheets very well. But I think when there's teams fighting for different things, yeah, I've noticed, mate. Yeah, doing these watch-alongs with you. So yes, no, I think that'll be a thriller. But I think West Brom are going to win one of them, maybe even an earlier one actually. But I'll give it to them in this game, and I think Bristol City are on the decline a bit for form in particular. Form is so important in the Championship, isn't it?
It is. It is. And nobody, once you get outside the playoffs, nobody's, even one or two teams in the playoffs, nobody's putting runs together.
No.
It is the proverbial anybody can beat anybody. Talking of which, can Charlton beat Norwich?
No, because Norwich will have players coming back now who are going to be fitter, and they'll still be looking over their shoulder a little bit. So I'm going to go for the closer one here. I've been really harsh to Charlton in this, I think, but I think Charlton 1, Norwich 2 I'll go for.
No, I understand that. I get that totally. QPR Portsmouth?
Yeah, see, this is one which is going to be a surprise to you because I've just gone for Leicester to lose at home to QPR by like 3-1. But QPR do this weird thing where they turn up 1 week and then disappear the next. And Portsmouth have a funny away result in them at any opportunity. So let's go for a surprise. QPR 1, Portsmouth 2.
You know what I love about you, Tom, is that you've really put, and thank you so much, but I know when I asked you to do it, you said, all right, I'm going to go away and have a look at it. You've really put the thought and effort and not just gone with, your head. You've looked at players being injured and coming back. Mate, I really appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
No worries, mate.
Southampton at home against Oxford. Again, I would think you've gone for a home win here.
Yeah, 3-0 home win to Southampton. I think now they're starting to find that ability to score goals. I'm giving them the benefit out they're going to keep free scoring as they are. And Oxford, once you get 1 or 2 past them, they generally can't match up. And this will be a game for them. They wouldn't be looking to particularly win anyway. But I see Southampton's quality being the better of Oxford in this one, 3-0.
Watford, obviously Elton John's team hosting the Foxes. Will the Foxes be coming back down or back up the motorway playing sad songs?
I think they will, mate, unfortunately. I can't see us getting a result away at Watford. I mean, Watford are a bit like QPR. They can have a funny week now and again, but I just don't think we've got enough if we go a goal down to maybe fight back mentally in the game. So I'm going to think it's going to be a closer one, but I'm going to go for Watford 2, Leicester 1.
But again, I guess that's why they call it the Blues.
Bum.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I didn't know whether you got the sad songs one or not.
Oh, I did, mate. I did. I'm trying not to think about it because I'm looking at this.
But don't mention parsnips. I mentioned it once earlier, but I think I got away with it. What it was, I really don't. Right. Is this the last game or is there one more after this?
What do you mean, the last game? You mean the last week?
Last week.
Oh yeah, this one coming up is this is the second last week. So we got one more.
This is the second last one,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Birmingham chasing that playoff spot, hosting Blackburn. Charlton against Bristol City. We've got ourselves up against Daniel Everson in goal, Norwich, Portsmouth, Oxford, Hull, and the Battle of the W's, West Brom against, let's be honest with you, a promotion or a playoff chasing Wrexham. They're in that final position at the moment. Birmingham, Blackburn.
Birmingham 3, Blackburn 1. But Birmingham obviously only lost 2 at home the entire year, haven't they? It was actually, I actually thought the result against Middlesbrough was a bit of a surprise in some ways because Birmingham have been so good at home this season and maybe going into last season as well. So I think Blackburn will score. I think Birmingham, though, will edge them. So it'll be 3 goals to 1.
Cheers, Armchair, for the update.
He is. He's going to be out for a while, yeah.
You see the Seagrave curse. Even when you leave, you can't get away from it. It follows you. This could be an interesting one. I'm trying to second guess here. This is quite fun for me. I'm trying to second guess which way you've gone, and I think you may have gone for a home win.
I have, Chris. You have. I mean, I've actually been harshest to Bristol City of anyone in these predictions, haven't I? But I just think their season's kind of wilting now. Charlton 1, Bristol City 0. A tight one for Charlton.
Yeah. Look, Leicester, Preston. Preston slipping back down again, aren't they? You know, I mean, they're still currently, before all these games, in the top half, just in 11th. But look, this is typical Preston, isn't it? But you know, typical Preston versus the club that just keeps on giving.
Yeah.
You may have gone for this one. You may have gone for a draw.
It's close, yeah. I mean, I think this is a game where, Preston play quite a different formation to most teams as well. They're very unique in what they do. This will be one where I think we'll see what Rowett's done behind the scenes because with Oxford, he changed into 6 different formations over the course of the season. I'm going to narrow win here for Leicester, 2 goals to 1. But we need to win this. We need to win this and the Bristol City game.
We keep saying that he does all these formations. I'm not seeing it yet, but
it takes time. It takes time to shift into, especially when we're so stuck in 4-2-3-1 now for like a decade. It feels like.
Yeah, it feels like, doesn't it? Yeah. Norwich hosting Portsmouth. I think you may have gone for a draw here.
No, I haven't, mate. I've actually gone for Norwich to be really firing in this one. I think Portsmouth are they're weird, aren't they? A bit like this. So I've gone for Norwich to have a good day at home here, 4-1.
Wow, not a draw at all.
No.
Oxford Hull. For me, I think it's a Hull win.
I think you're right. I think when last time they played Hull, I mean, it was Hull's game pretty much. I think they don't match up very well. So I'm going to go for Oxford 0, Hull City 2 in this one. Let's not forget Hull will probably be still in a playoff picture fight at this point.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, the Battle of the W's. Albion, then Wrexham. I don't know, but at the start of the season, they played better away from home. Than they did at home, almost like there was less expectation on them because of everything that's going on. Again, everybody wondered when the 2 guys came in and bought it, but they've, sold a big, large chunk. They seem to be getting it right. But like we said last night, when we look at all these clubs and go, yeah, they're probably doing what Leicester were doing. They're very well run, etc., etc. Let's go back in 10 years' time and go, yeah, let's see how they were doing. Have they dropped off like we have? But I still can't see Albion getting anything from this one.
I can see a draw happening. I think Wrexham, when they go away to games like this, where it's a bigger stadium, what they're used to as well, and I think at that point West Brom are going to have a bit of fire behind them. I'm kind of in my mind predicting it as if Darren Moore comes in as a caretaker to the end of the season. I think it will be 1-1.
Okay. So with 1 week to go, how is the table? What's happening in the old position-wise?
Getting very tight, guys. Let's start from the bottom here. So the 23rd place would be Oxford. They would drop down 2 places on this week, and that would be with a goal difference of -19 and 39 points. West Brom with the draw would stay in 22nd with -22 goal difference and 40 points. Leicester with the win would jump 2 places from 23rd to 21st. That's why the Preston game is going to be so big for us. And we'd have -12 goal difference and 40 points. That'd be 1 point behind Blackburn on 41. Charlton, with their win, would get a 3-point advantage to go on 44 points in 19th. And Portsmouth would also, with their loss, still be quite clear because they'd be on 45 points, 1 point ahead of Charlton in 18th.
So that would have been the Good Friday fixtures.
Yeah.
And literally 3 days later, we've got the Easter Monday fixtures. The question is, of course, will we see Leicester risen again, or will they be crucified? Look, 4 games literally only this time. There's a lot of games in there. Blackburn, West Brom, Portsmouth, Oxford. I mean, those games could really have a really big impact on what happens for us. We're away at the bottom club; they're already down, and I think that's dangerous. To be honest with you,
Oh, yeah.
Normally it's dangerous because once you're down, there's no pressure on them whatsoever. But we know the troubles that they've got team wise and all that, so it shouldn't make a difference. But look, we struggled against them on the opening day, so it could be difficult. And then Watford hosting Charlton.
Yeah, very interesting set of fixtures. This is probably the biggest fixtures of the entire relegation battle we got coming up. So starting from the top, right, Blackburn at home to West Brom. I've just given West Brom a couple of good results, really, haven't I, with the Bristol City win and the draw with Wrexham. I think Blackburn at home here will step up and win this one by 2-1.
Wow.
So I think West Brom will have this as a real big setback for them. Portsmouth versus Oxford. I'm going to go for a home win. I think Oxford could win this on the road, but they're more likely to get a draw, if anything, on the road. But I'll give it to Portsmouth for a 2-0 win there. I think they'll probably raise up for this one. Right, Sheffield Wednesday, Leicester. See, I'm going to go with logic over my heart. My heart, for some reason, is telling me I think we're going to have a real difficult game in this one. I don't know what it is. I just got a funny feeling, even more so than Preston. But I'm going to go for Sheffield Wednesday 1, Leicester 2. I'm going to be
on Sheffield Wednesday. Armchair says there, has the Sheffield Wednesday deal gone down the pan? The owners, as far as I understand it, look, I don't know the full details, but as far as I understand it, the owners that had been given preferential bidding rights have now pulled out because it sounded like they wanted to change what they were offering. Well, I don't know. Anyway, they've lost out, and apparently Mike Ashley is lurking, as they say. So
I think it's the amount of debt that's a problem, isn't it? I think with the price of the club, you're paying for the club's name, but it's probably not worth the price of the debt.
No, exactly. You do have to take that into consideration. Although they've gone into administration, wouldn't that just be written off?
I see it's complicated nowadays, isn't it? Because, so there is an element of that. I'm not entirely sure, Chris, to be honest. I really should do some more reading on it. But I know they had to pay, I think it was £2.5 million, these preferred bidders, just to have an exclusive period. Then obviously they've already given them £2.5 million, which they're not going to get back.
No. Watford Charlton.
Home win, Watford 2, Charlton 0. I don't think Charlton are going to go there and be able to do too much. And Watford have got a 4-4-2 in their game as well, which sometimes plays quite well against the formation that Charlton play. So, I think Watford win there.
Yeah. Okay, then. Talk us through the table. This is how the table would look after these 6 games as you have predicted it.
Well, exactly, yeah. So this is exactly where we would be, guys. I mean, Oxford have been jumping around from 21st to 23rd because I've given the benefit of the doubt of a few home wins here, right? So it's going to create a nice tight bit at the bottom. West Brom would still be right in it. It shows you the importance for us that we've got to beat Bristol City, Preston, and Sheffield Wednesday. If we don't, we've got to beat Ipswich, because we're going to need to get at least 3 wins from these next 6 games, which is my logic is going, I'm really concerned if we can do that. But it's the teams we're playing, you should be able to, especially with the form they're in, right? So, but what's interesting about it as well, the one thing we can say after the first part of this, I think Portsmouth will be safe enough in 6 games' time, because on 48 points, I'd argue they need 1 more win from there, and that will probably do it to save them in the Championship. But it means Blackburn and Charlton have got to keep looking over their shoulders. I do like that 9-1 on Charlton maybe to go down, because I think actually they're probably closer than that.
Exactly. And we're all hoping on the points, which we don't know. It's a big question mark. Right.
If they win that appeal and it goes down to 0, which I mean, I know it's very unlikely because I mean, to appeal it to go down to 0, we basically have to prove that it's unenforceable, which has been my argument legally for a long time. That actually, you can argue it's unenforceable, the points deduction, because of where it's come from. But that would give us 49 points at this point.
It's another long story, that one, isn't it?
It is, and it's down to opinions. I mean, if I was doing that, I mean, I'm not really. I mean, I'm only reading what I can into it, so But I think there is an argument there to say they can't enforce this points deduction.
Well, I mean, you've got to think that I presume Nick DeMarco is the guy that's still looking after us,
Yeah.
and you would think that if we've appealed, he must think we've got a decent chance of doing something. Saying that, when you look at it and think, well, would they have appealed if the Premier League hadn't?
Well, this is it exactly. This is the bits of information we don't know, isn't it? So, but what I will say now is, if they can take the points off us, sometimes when you appeal, the points come back off, and then they put them back on later. If we see in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks those 6 points be gifted back to Leicester, I think that will prove that the legal team of the Premier League are saying to them, "Look, you're going to lose this, like you lost the last appeal." Because last time we basically managed with the moving of the dates, obviously, to get around how they've put the points.
Well, do you think we've lost it, or the?
I think if you see us get given the 6 points back, the Premier League is going to do it because they realise, and if they don't, there's going to be a legal thing where we could win a court case against them.
Right, I'm with you. So
you see what I mean?
Points back, it's looking good for us. Is basically, I think.
Yes, it's basically a admission of liability.
Yeah, it's amazing to think that the club still haven't announced that they are actually appealing.
No, exactly. No, it's bizarre, isn't it? But this is what's interesting about the timing of giving us the points deduction when it was, Chris, because it has thrown all this, the end of the championship season, into jeopardy for every club, not just Leicester, for Oxford, for West Brom, for Charlton, for Blackburn and Portsmouth.
It is. It's messing about. And, they've said they wanted to sort it out this season. Well, I mean, if they leave it much later, we could see ourselves at the end of the season safe, and then by this points deduction, be stuck in the relegation zone. So it's a bit of a cock up. But then the argument is that because we were late putting our accounts in, that's why they're late looking at it anyway. The only other positive is, I will say, is that the Premier League are appealing because they think we should have been punished for putting the accounts in late. And as far as I understand it, that the board that looked at it, the arbitration board, went, yeah, you should get that, but we're not going to because you're making an effort.
There's also an argument it should be a fine rather than a points deduction for that, because I think there's been other precedent elsewhere where it's been fines handed out, not points.
We will wait and see. It is the roller coaster ride that is Leicester City. So, guys, look, we're going to be back for part 2. What we're going to do is, because by then there will have been another game played, Tom.
We'll have to look back and compare my predictions versus the ones that happened to start the show.
We will. But I think we will carry on as if they're at this point that you've left it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I don't think we should start messing around and adding those points or taking them off or whatever. We'll just carry on as it is. I don't think either of us, well, I certainly can't fit it in this week anyway.
No. But part of my thought process with this has been to try and predict there's a bit of a scope of 6 games. So when I said, obviously, I think West Brom might beat Bristol City, there is every chance they might beat Southampton at home instead of lose at Bristol City, which is kind of the same outcome.
Yeah. If you have enjoyed this, all you've got to do is click the notification bell, because then when we do the second part, whenever that is, and we don't know yet, because we both do have lives outside of this, which you may find very hard to believe, but we do. When click that notification bell, and you'll be notified when we do go live. Obviously, if you're watching it, please do click that like button. We really do. It really, really does help us. Subscribe if you're new as well. If you're from one of the clubs that we've been talking about, I don't think we've been nasty about any particular club.
Oh, no,
we're always pleased to see them, you guys in the chat. So please, you can subscribe as well if you would be so kind. And of course, what do we always say about watching on a mobile, Tom?
Don't forget to like and hype the video, guys.
Hype. It's all about the hype, isn't it?
It is nowadays, mate. And hopefully, mate, coming out of this, we're going to get some points here for Leicester, because I'm worried if I predicted 3 wins in 6 and it doesn't happen now, I'll be fearing the worst. When you look at it, it's scary, isn't it? You go, oh my God, this is really scary.
No, very, very scary. We'll be back 8 o'clock tomorrow. Well, we won't be back, but Brad and hopefully Josh will, with the prediction show. So we will see you then. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Have a good afternoon. The sun's shining here. Don't know if it is where you are. Hope it is. And we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.